have it be your turn now. I'm saying, baby, 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 baby. What the hell was that?
Switching. There we go.
Welcome to the Grizzled Geek Podcast, episode 74. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
You have the you have it played in the background there, Doug?
Playing what?
Oh wait, no. Apparently I do. I don't. You hear that
No.
the echo there?
I'm not hearing an echo, no. Boo. What's going on? Tech
That's odd.
issues.
Tech issues.
Can show off my archers while we're waiting. Been working on these.
Nice.
Woo!
Apparently there is. Oh, there we go. Aha! Figured it out.
Good.
There was an extra screen up there somewhere playing the video.
Nice.
As I was trying to frame us in, I had it up extra page up there. Welcome, guys. Technical difficulties. Kirsten will not be joining us tonight. She was not feeling good tonight, so hopefully she'll be back with us again next week. But we are here, and Charlie Tango's here, and on time too. Nice.
About time.
That's
Gosh.
right. No tardy Charlie tonight. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So
Oh, man.
tonight we have a lot of information to go over. So there's this is your single source for all your weekly nerd news. So if the nerds are talking about it, so are we, and we're going to give you our opinion as well. So it's an added bonus. It's like the news with a side of opinion, unlike the regular news. So
Yeah, not like that news at all. You know,
nice.
because they don't have that news part.
Yeah, exactly. It's
They're
like-
mostly just the side of opinion.
we're just like the regular news, only, we add news to our opinion. So, wow. Okay, so we got a couple things here coming up, guys. So, first off, I want to thank everybody that is helping us get to that 1 million views. We kind of slowed down there just because we haven't been putting out, we skipped a week putting out a video. We kind of mashed 2 WandaVision episodes together. So we kind of slowed down. It's our fault. But there's still a lot of you helping us out, helping us get there. We should get to 1 million views end of next week.
Nice.
So by the end of the month. So we will have our celebratory 1 million view episode. And in fact, the 1 million view episode might coincide with our appearance on the PodVCon spring break convention, podcasting convention. We're going to be live at that on the 12th. So you don't have to go tune anywhere extra. It's just going to be, simulcast here as well as at the convention. So we will have a much bigger live audience that night.
Better come up with some good stuff to talk
I
about.
know. I gotta polish all these technical glitches before we
Yeah.
before then. But that will be episode 78. So 4 more episodes.
3 weeks from now.
3 weeks from now, yeah. So actually, it's gonna be 77 because we skipped a week. Oh well. But yeah, we're gonna kind of plan for that because we will definitely be at our million views by that point, so we can do the celebration at that point. Might have some special guests on. It'll be a lot of fun, guys. So join us, and there's a ton of other great podcasters at that convention. So not just us. So it'll be exciting. But we'll be the same time, same place. You watch it. Although now this is actually going out right now to Twitch and Facebook at the same time. Yeah. Or, well, it should be. Let's hope.
In theory, it is.
In theory, it is. Again, as you
Yeah.
can tell, we're not exactly the most, technical people here. But All right.
Very good.
Guys, Doug, what have you been up to, man?
Building a lot of Lumineth.
Nice.
I'm almost got my full 2,000 point army done. Trying to think what I've been doing other than that. Dashing a lot. Yeah. Getting keeping up with the 2 videos a week on our second channel, the Grizzled War Master. Been doing that.
Nice. I got a new review video that's coming out. Hopefully I'll have it edited fully tomorrow. So at some point.
You wanna tease what you're reviewing?
We're reviewing. It's going to be a Grizzled Game Master episode where I'm reviewing some Steamforge games miniature sets. They're actually great if you're a D&D player. They're a great or awesome group of miniatures. They're all under $50, and they come in a box. It's basically a scenario in a box, complete with the full miniatures that you need for it. Map, scenario booklet that can be through 3 different levels and whatnot. And so they have and they have different ones. They have a goblin one, a kobold one, an orc one, and then they have large monster scenarios. They have a dragon.
It's the first level adventure, the second level adventure, the third level adventure.
Well, the great thing about this is they actually have ways of leveling those up, and they have unique parts. I mean, it's the scenario in there too. So I'm gonna be reviewing the Frost Giant one because they have the large monster encounters, and then I have the orc one as well. So there's 20 miniatures, and it was $44, 20 miniatures, and they're highly detailed, awesome miniatures, map, scenario, and everything else. So
that would be sweet, Charlie. Yeah. I miss old BattleTech.
I know. We'll definitely review that. But yeah, so I'm going to be checking out what's in the box there and seeing if they need it. And here's a hint. If you guys are a Age of Sigmar player, the Frost Giant is Mega Gargant size. So It is a nice, hefty miniature.
That's cool.
So,
yeah. Very cool.
So that's cool. Let's see here. What do we got going on? Let's see here. Other than our, million views, the fact we're going to be on the PodVCon Spring Break Special on the 12th of March, really not much. I've been working hard. I'm going to be moving here soon at the end of March, so the studio may be in various stage of packed up throughout the shows. So
yeah,
we'll see. Hopefully, I'm trying to not pack anything up in the studio until after the 12th. So,
okay.
But we'll see. Got a whole house to pack up, so that's going to be fun. All right. So, shall we jump into the news, Doug?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right. So, let's talk about Mortal Kombat. And I would have the techno music playing, but I don't want any copyright.
Yeah, get a copyright strike.
So the new big budget movie is going to hit theaters HBO Max on April 16th, and we finally got our first trailer for it. Both a red band, super gory red band trailer, complete with fatalities, and a regular, for the kids trailer. But they are not holding any punches with this thing. It's got, you get to see Kano rip somebody's heart out, just like the...
Yeah.
Just like the video game that we all loved and our parents hated back in the day. It looks amazing. We get to see in the trailer, we got full character posters for everybody. And in the trailer, we got to see Sonya, Kano, Liu Kang, Goro, which, if you can see a big budget. If you remember back the old movie, I love the old movie. It's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Goro kind of cheesy. Full budget CGI Goro. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, of course. In fact, I have some of the character posters here. And,
do you? Okay.
Yeah. Let me pull it up here.
I watched the trailer. I didn't go hunt out the posters, so I watched the Red Band trailer.
Yeah. It's holy.
The scorpion dagger through the head and then pulling the dude onto his face.
Get over here!
That was before he actually uttered the phrase, but he did the little throws the dagger, goes through the dude's head, and then he pulls him like the dude's already dead. I guess he wanted the dagger back.
This is not the best quality photo, but we have Sub-Zero, Kano, Melina, Raiden. They got the dude. It looks like this show's revolving around some dude named Cole. So he's not in the game. So apparently, I don't know if he didn't show so much of him in the trailer, I'd be like, okay, he's a red shirt. He's not gonna last. He's not. But I assume it's gonna revolve around some new character who's not in the game. Let's see here. Actually, I got better pictures than that. These high quality ones, a little bit better. So you see Jax.
Nice. Okay.
Well, and you actually get to see in the trailer Jax lose his arms.
Oh, that was pretty brutal.
That scene where he like shoots a shotgun at Sub-Zero and he's freezing the buckshot as it's coming out of the shotgun in.
It was pretty cool.
Pretty awesome. I gotta say. Let's see here. And we got Kano over here, which he's got people complaining because he doesn't have like the metal plate, but he's still got the cybernetic eye. And I have a feeling it's going to be more like Terminator, like the plate's underneath. And as you can see there, I think the more battle damage he gets through the through the movie, the more that metal plate's going to. We'll see.
Oh, maybe.
By the end of it, he'll be full on metal plate eye over here. But yeah, I always love Kano. We also have his arch nemesis Sonya. So, and then of course everybody's favorite god in the game, Raiden.
Yeah. Who's playing Raiden? I didn't recognize him.
I don't know. I didn't recognize him either. But he is Asian now instead of French. Although, to be fair, if that Frenchman can pull off playing a Scotsman, then in Highlander, then he'll pull off Asian God of Lightning. Raiden wins. I agree. But it looks amazing. I don't know. I gotta tell you, I was not super excited about it initially. I'm like, all right, it's a video game movie. Although I will say, the first movie was by far the best video game movie. One of the best video game movies out there, right?
Right.
But after this trailer, I'm down. I'm like, okay, I definitely want to see this now. Sadly, there's no mention of fan favorite from the original movie, Johnny Cage, right? He's not in the trailer, not in the posters.
Apparently this Cole Young is taking his place, I would assume.
Yeah, I'd rather have Johnny Cage than this Cole guy, but whatever. Yeah. That's fine. He stole the show in the first movie. So it's big shoes to fill, this Cole guy.
Yeah, he was just... he made that movie so awesome.
It was pretty funny. But on a side note to this story, the feminist news site Jezebel put out a story and called for the boycott of the movie because of the exclusion of the Chun-Li character. Like, why is Chun-Li not in this? Well, it's probably because she's not in Mortal Kombat. She's a Street Fighter character.
Yeah.
So,
where did you get the boycott?
There was Jezebel didn't call for the boycott. Jezebel put out the article saying, "Where's Chun-Li? Why is Chun-Li not getting this?" And then that caused the call for the boycott before it was corrected later that day. Going,
because the article overall, I went and read the article. It was overall pretty. Seemed like the person was pretty jazzed about it, but
just like where's Chun-Li?
Just didn't know the material.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Like, this looks cool.
But that was pretty funny because the author of the article has video game or degree in video game, whatever in her description, right? That's
funny.
So I'm like,
Apparently, it wasn't arcade games.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't arcade games. She definitely did not have a master's in that. Where's Chun-Li? But what was funny is there's this wave of people who are like, yeah, you're right. Why not? Boycott this movie. And I'm like, wrong franchise. Now, if they did a Street Fighter movie and excluded Chun-Li, then yes, I'm with you.
Yeah.
But all right. So, Mortal Kombat, I'm super jazzed about it, which I wasn't before. But after this trailer, I'm just like, okay, I'm down.
The trailer was pretty amazing. If I had just seen those posters, I still would have been like, all right.
Yeah.
But watching the trailer, I was like, all right, I'm on board.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
This is for nothing else, just the effects for Sub-Zero were so amazing. I was just like,
oh, yeah.
Crap, that is awesome.
Yes. Super, super excited about that. So, yeah, awesome. Mortal Kombat, guys. Go check it out April 16th on HBO Max and in theaters if you can get to a theater where you're at. And, feel safe doing so.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Star Wars, Doug. And you ready for this story? Or these stories?
Sure.
Stories.
You want me to do the first part and then switch back and forth, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, we can do this. Okay. Okay. Tell you what, we'll go down the basics here. Then you want to take the High Republic?
Sure.
Part, and I'll handle the Mandalorian part.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sounds good. So, basically to set this up, this is kind of coming on the heels of, but back in December, as a Star Wars fan, as Star Wars fans everywhere, Star Wars was riding high with the end of the Mandalorian season 2, right?
Yep.
And the return of Luke Skywalker. So spoilers if you haven't seen it, the return of Luke Skywalker. In his full Jedi Master glory in the end of the Mandalorian, and they announced several new shows December 12th at their investors meeting, right? So it was like Star Wars was riding high, like the fans were back, right? The crimes of the Last Jedi were finally forgiven, and we're moving past. But now, a little more than a month later, the future is less clear, right? So, and it looks like. Well, maybe not as much now because we just got an update to the story, but the Mandalorian is kind of on shaky ground right now. The High Republic had a less than stellar debut, right? And there seems to be, more than ever, this division in Lucasfilm, right? This internal civil war that's going on. And there seems to be two camps, right? I mean, there's the Lucasfilm, there's Jon Favreau, right? Who wants to embrace, the old, right? And new, right? He wants to incorporate both, and then there's the Kathleen Kennedy camp who wants to bury the past and focus solely on new, right? Which sadly includes the story group, which seems to be not want to have anything to do with the newer stuff, the old stuff. It wants to all focus on new stuff. So, but anyway, you can tell us about the High Republic, Doug.
All right. Well, when this new mega story launched this last December, it did not meet expectations. It faced fan backlash and underwhelming sales. Although, I don't know how much backlash it got, other than
the main criticism I got from the backlash, or whatever you want to call it, was about Yoda. Right? They kind of set up Yoda to be like this big failure. Like he's the reason. And I haven't read it, okay? Because none of it really looked like it appealed to me, so I haven't read the stories. But a lot of the big backlash comes from how the treatment of Yoda, and they're kind of setting him up as the reason why the Jedi Order failed in the prequels.
Interesting.
It was several different philosophies for the Jedi, and his philosophy was the one they molded towards, which ended up leading to the downfall. And it just, like I said, I don't know. I can't speak on it in too much detail because I haven't read it.
Right.
Any of them.
Yeah, I got the first book, and I've only gone a couple chapters in. I just haven't had the time, or those first two chapters didn't yank me in, which is kind of, whatever. It's that happens with a lot of books. I remember Game of Thrones I couldn't get into, and it took me several reads to get into it. So I'm not And it's the guy who writes Vader who writes this book, so I know he's a good writer. So,
Right.
but I just haven't had the time to really dive in. Anyways, blame has started going around. The story group is blaming Jon Favreau's Luke reveal for taking the wind out of the sails of the release, moving the fan base in the wrong direction, quote unquote. This culminated in Pablo Hidalgo publicly making fun of Star Wars Theory, who's a Star Wars YouTuber with almost 3 million subs.
Yeah, he's a huge.
He cried. Yeah, he cried with the reveal of Luke, and a lot of Star Wars YouTubers.
He wasn't the only one that cried.
Yeah.
So, but he was the only one that got made fun of publicly by someone from Lucasfilm.
And the weird thing is Hidalgo's comments didn't really jive with Disney as a company's overall philosophy.
Yeah,
because he changed his Twitter profile to something like, emotions shouldn't be out for everyone to see or something like that. I'm like, that's not what your company's thinking.
Yeah. So he puts out that tweet making fun of him. He retracts it, puts out kind of a half-hearted apology, but then puts that as his Twitter handle, right? So basically doubling down on that, like, sorry, not sorry.
It's an old curmudgeon who,
sounds like it. I don't want
to. Well, and here's the thing that's I find really frustrating about that whole thing is the story group has largely been inconsequential. They have not done what you would think a story group would do. They didn't force any kind of conformity to the story for the movies. The books even contradict each other. If you read especially Bloodlines. Bloodlines is way out of sync with all of the other books that came out in that early period. And I liked a lot. And I didn't even mind Bloodlines. It was a pretty good story, but it didn't mesh with the other books that came out at the same time. They had, in fact, the only ones I don't like really of those early books is the frickin' stupid
the New Republic ones, or
no, the Aftermath books.
The
Aftermath books were just, they had some cool ideas, but they were so badly written that I just can't get over it.
Yeah.
I didn't even mind, like, there's they tried to be very PC and, forward thinking, like there's a gay Imperial intelligence officer who could have been the coolest character in the whole thing, and they just pissed him away. They had like a bounty hunter that was fairly cool, but she then got fairly quickly very stereotypical. And it was just like, what the hell are you doing? You have
had all this potential for cool stories.
Blew the implementation, and then the story wasn't even all that compelling as far as the overall ideas of what was going on. Just all right,
brought in these cool characters and gave them the Finn treatment.
Kind of, yeah.
What a cool character, and then do nothing with him.
So the story group didn't even do what they were supposed to do in those cases. So I'm not even sure why they exist, other than,
well, this was their big rollout, the High Republic, right?
Yeah.
This is the first time the story group was pretty much fully in control of this release, and this was going to be their big thing. So, what gets me is the moving the fan base in the wrong direction quote. Because for me, I don't know about, it seemed like as Star Wars fans were kind of like all in, all the same opinion after that, right? That was like when Luke Skywalker showed up, I think it brought, I was thinking it brought the fan base together, right? For once, we're all like excited about, I guess most of it, yeah. So I don't understand what they mean by that reveal.
First off,
yeah,
I would not put anybody who works, unless they have proven themselves a fan like Favreau and Filoni, I would not assume anybody who works at Lucasfilm is a Star Wars fan. They can claim they are all they want, but they do not seem to be.
Yeah. They want to take the name and do something new with it.
Yeah.
Right? As where I was everyone's all like, well, Dave Filoni's stuck in the past. And I'm like, I would argue that no. I mean, he took a original character, right? I mean, the focus of that series is all new characters. Yeah, they brought in some old characters, right? But the focus is all new characters, right? So,
And it really was just the culmination of a plot point.
Yeah.
That was a cool tie to, hey, look, you're playing in the same universe.
Yeah.
As all these other people. So, yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
I'm just, counting down the days until Kennedy's gone, and then I think we'll get a resolution to all of this.
Yeah, I don't understand this civil war going on there. You figure they'd want, I don't know. Anyway, moving on to the Mandalorian. Well, we all got the news this last week that Gina Carano was fired from the Mandalorian for a ill-advised social media post, ostensibly criticizing ideological intolerance, but using a World War II era Germany comparison, which was not.
I don't think. I think, to be fair, because we're going to compare that with Pedro. People complaining about Pedro Pascal. It was not World War II comparison. It was trying to equate yourself with Holocaust victims. That is, unless you are Armenian or what are those guys, Uyghurs?
Uyghurs, yeah.
You really can't be. I mean, and apparently, indigenous peoples, you should not be using that. So
no, it was really ill-advised. It was very ill-advised. Not not a comparison that you want to make. But yeah, I mean, people also pointed out the fact that Pedro Pascal did make a comparison, similar, not about the same subject, but a couple years before. Pointed out that if he was able to do it, why and not get fired, why is she getting fired for this? But the truth is, Lucasfilm wanted to get rid of Gina Carano for a while now, because she had some pretty far right-wing views they disagreed with. She was very vocal about her views on social media, and even I was kind of like, hey, maybe put Twitter down for a bit,
Read the room.
Yeah, why don't we not post every thought that pops in our head, because that's what Donald Trump did. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I personally, given what they fired her for, I personally don't feel like it was a fireable offense. But they let her go. But then, like I said, they've been looking for a while. In fact, she was supposed to host her own spin-off series, and they got rid of that back in November, before the announcement of the series that came out. They had planned on it, and then they changed their mind because of her controversial
Had planned
media,
on what?
having her own Gina Carano's Cara Dune spin-off series. So
Yeah,
that was
'cause
going to be announced.
Everybody was assuming that was the Rangers of the the New Republic. I think by that time they already knew they weren't keeping her around.
Yeah.
So that's
Yep.
she's not. She was probably never planned to be in that.
Right. So yeah, while the excuse they used to fire her, I don't necessarily agree with. I understand that was just like the final straw, and why. But it was upsetting for a lot of people. In fact, she's got a lot of support. In fact, this last week she became the number one celebrity according to the IMDb post, as far as she got a huge amount of following, right? I think she was in the top 5 was Christopher Plummer, because he just recently passed away. I think the cast from WandaVision was up there, who's being in the top 5, but she was number 1. Number 1. She's got her social media following has gone through the roof, and for 3 days the hashtag cancel Disney Plus trended on social media. And how do I cancel my subscription to Disney? Disney Plus was one of the most searched for items on Google, phrases on Google. So, and everybody showing up there, canceling Disney Plus. I I don't know exactly sure how. I mean, I'm all for people supporting or not supporting things, right, as they see fit. I'm personally not going to cancel my Disney Plus series because there's too much I want to see on Disney Plus for that. No matter how I feel about Gina Carano, I mean, I personally like her, but
I liked her character, even if I've always thought her. I never thought she could anchor a show. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
She's not that good an actress.
No,
I liked her character a lot. She was a good support, and I would never stop watching Mandalorian because I disagreed with her stuff. Just like I'm not gonna not watch Black Panther 2, even though the girl who plays Shuri
right.
has some wacky views
yeah,
on
she's anti-vaxxer.
much like Gina does on anti-vaxxer and not wearing masks. Well, I don't think the girl from
right.
What would you say her name was? Letitia? Yeah.
Johnson. Yeah.
I don't think she's anti-masker like
And
Gina
even Evangeline
is.
Lilly was had some anti-mask posts out there, right?
Yeah, so
And I'm not going to stop watching. I'm not going to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp.
right, yeah.
It's
But
we could disagree. I don't know. You and I are old school, Doug. We're back from we could disagree with somebody, right? And still not,
right, yeah.
want to cancel them or not watch their stuff. So, but
Correct,
that's not a popular opinion nowadays.
True, but at the same time, I don't blame Disney for getting rid of her because they are a company pointed a specific direction. She knew that all along and continued to chose to make those posts. They're a private business, not the government.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't we're not abridging First Amendment freedoms or anything like that because they're not the government. Yeah. So she took a risk.
Right. And I agree. I agree with you as long as they came to her and went, look, we have an image. We can't have this. If we, I just hear out of your opinion, but we can't, have this. However, I don't know how much of that happened because apparently she found out about her firing the same way we did on social media.
Yeah.
Right? So, it's, we'll see what happens because, like I said, there's two groups. In fact, because reports came out afterwards about Jon Favreau being very upset about her firing, right? And he was upset about her firing because apparently, how it happened, how it went down, right? Mm-hmm. Apparently, he was told about it beforehand, but not consulted, right?
Right. Yeah.
So he was very upset. People are like, "Oh, he's going to leave." I'm like, Jon Favreau's not going to leave the show.
No.
But there was also rumors that came out that Pedro Pascal was leaving the show, right? And here's the thing, he's like us. He disagrees with her politically quite a bit, right? But he's also come to her defense several times this past season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's friends with her because he's an adult. So, I mean, but he was not leaving. The rumor was he wasn't leaving because of any act of solidarity or anything like that. It was because he just recently got cast as Joel, the lead for HBO Max's The Last of Us series, right? And while that will be his primary focus, he just came out earlier today and announced, that he is not leaving The Mandalorian. Although his role in the suit will be very limited, which we knew that was happening anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So he's definitely going to be still the voice.
Yeah, he's not in the suit half the time anyways. It's often a stunt double in the suit, and he just does voiceovers for it.
Yeah.
Which is, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So you just, you stick to a couple of times a season, you get to see him without the helmet on, and then he's largely just going into the studio to record voiceover.
Yeah, exactly.
Which allows him to focus on The Last of Us.
Show for that 1 or 2 episodes where he takes his mask off.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean...
That's good.
Yeah, so there's nothing to worry about. I don't think Mandalorian's going anywhere. Sadly, I really liked Gina Carano's character, Cara Dune, and they kind of set her up for kind of a bigger role, and I would have liked to have seen her take part in the Rangers of the New Republic series. I think she would have been great. She's a great supporting character, but it's the show can go on without her.
Right.
So that's not that big deal. And she's going to be, for all the Gina Carano fans out there, she's going to be fine. She's actually just signed on for a new, to produce her own movie in a starring vehicle for the Daily Wire's new media production center, who just put out Run, Hide, Fight movie that apparently has been, I've not seen it, but it's apparently has been getting really good reviews. It's a, I think it's a school shooting movie, but Run, Hide, Fight. But it's it's going to be like there's one of their second productions that they're doing. So they just started doing this, producing movies and stuff like this, and they offered her a chance to produce her own. So, so she's gonna land on her feet. She's although she did get dumped by her talent agency, but then again, the way things are going for Hollywood and the movie industry, you're not tied to the old system anymore like you were before.
True.
So, but anyway, that's what we got. Moving on, our next story is the Weeb World story, which was what Kirsten does, but I'm going to briefly go through it here, although I won't have as much input probably as Kirsten would have on this. However, we can at least honor Kirsten.
Weeb world, weeb world.
Weeb World, folks. All right, so apparently Netflix now is going to start grooming their own anime artists.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Netflix is partnering with Wit Studios, Sarai Yuri, to launch Wit Animators Academy. So they're partnering with them to establish this academy, which will train young animators, and the first courses will run for 6 months starting in April, right? And they plan to cover the cost of the program for multiple years. Okay, so Netflix is going to be covering the cost of students' tuition, which is about 600,000 yen, as well as the 150,000 yen per month for living costs as well. So basically, they're putting these guys up. I guess they're signing into a contract. You're going to work for Netflix. We're going to put you through school and learn how to animate, and pay for your living expenses, and then you're going to come work for us. So it's like Netflix's own little animation sweatshop they're building up here.
Yeah.
Graduates will draw in between animation for Netflix original anime produced at Wit Studios for Production IG. And the first course will recruit 10 applicants in total, and they must be Japanese residents, aged between 18 and 25, who have graduated high school or will do so by March. Okay, so getting them in there young, fresh new animators, getting them in there tied to a contract before they know what their talent's worth. And smart. I mean, this is why Netflix is top of the food chain, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking ahead. And there you have it, man. They are paying for their own animation studio and getting ready to, train their first crop of animators. So, I don't know. What do you think, Doug? Is this a good move for them?
Yeah. If you want to keep producing anime content, getting your own stable of animators is the way to go.
Yeah. When I first heard that, I'm like, they're paying their tuition 600,000 yen, but that's about what, $5,000.
$5,700.
$5,700. Yeah. And only $1,400 a month for living expenses, which apparently is, you can live on in Japan.
Yeah.
Get you one of those little capsule rooms.
Here's your coffin.
Now get to animating. So, yeah. Fun stuff. All right, guys. That does it for our major stories here. Now, moving on to our smaller stories, our Geek Bites. Nerd Nuggets. All right. These will be a little weird because now we're just the two of us going through these. All right. So Edgar Wright is developing a reboot of Stephen King's Running Man for Paramount Pictures. Okay, so the original movie starred Arnold Schwarzenegger. It came out in, 1985, I believe, or 84?
Someplace in there,
Yeah,
yeah.
so early 80s. Actually, I think it might have been earlier than that, because 84 was Ghostbusters. I think it was 83. Because one of Schwarzenegger's first big movies
Yeah, it was.
early on. And so, for those of you not familiar with the Stephen King story, it is set in a dystopian future where the economy has crashed, and there's a game show called The Running Man where the main character volunteers to go for it so he can feed his family, and basically you can travel. It's 87. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. You can travel anywhere in the world, anywhere in the United States you want, while these gang of professional killers hunt you. And if you survive, you win. If not, it's all televised hunting of humans. And just for reference, the book takes place in 2025, which is only 4 years from now. So, Stephen King, man, he's a visionary. So, nice. Yeah. And Edgar Wright, I mean, I don't know. I like Edgar Wright. I'm a fan of his. Every time he makes something, like, I'm kind of, I'm not too sure about. They don't come back with something else, right?
Yes. That's pretty much the story of Edgar Wright's career.
What's that? Yeah, pretty much. No, I want this. But, I mean, I appreciate Scott Pilgrim vs. the World more and more that I see it, right? Every time I see it, I appreciate it more. I didn't particularly care for it when it first came out, but the more I watch it, I'm like, okay. Because my son really loves that movie, so, and so does my daughter, so they watch it, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Oh, and then he comes up with something like
Baby Driver. Huh? Well, there's a strike against it.
Yeah. It's true. But I don't know. Running Man, I like the book. I like the old movie. I like Edgar Wright, so I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. That's what's funny is Arnold didn't like the movie.
Really?
He thought they ruined it. He thought they botched it.
Fair enough.
I'm reading his or listening book on tape. I'm listening to Total Recall, his biography, his autobiography. It's pretty cool. All right, let's go on to our next story. We get our first glimpse at Amazon Prime's Wheel of Time adaptation. The teaser seemingly spotlights a fateful moment from the first novel, The Eye of the World, as Matt Cawthon foolishly takes a ruby-encrusted dagger from the cursed city of Shadar Logoth.
Yep.
There's also an image of a blurry image. It's like a little short video of what the town square in Emmett's Field will look like.
Nice.
It's like a reading of a line from chapter 2 or 3 or something like that, I think it is. And then they lower the book, and there's this blurry image of the Wine Spring Inn.
Yeah. I really cautiously, I don't even say cautiously optimistic. I really hope that they don't screw up this Wheel of Time adaptation. Although, we'll see. So, I don't know. Did you see the little teaser?
Which one?
The one I'm talking about.
The image of the dagger. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't much to it,
Yeah.
So,
and it's such a dark image that it's hard to tell, but it wasn't nearly as ornate as they make it out to be in the book. So that was kind of
definitely
weird.
Not how I imagined the dagger. But then again, I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot not how I imagined the book going in this series. So we'll see. To be honest with you, I don't mind that they cast different races for the main characters. What's going to bother me is Dail not being redheads. Because it just seemed like that. I mean, that was part of their culture thing. But having like a bunch of mixed race Aiel seems weird to me.
Yeah, because
out of all of them, because that's really.
And here's the thing: is part of what messing with the casting is going to do is it's going to screw up story elements.
Yeah.
If they had made if they decide, like, hey, we want a diverse cast, and they'd said, all right, we're going to cast Rand as African American and the Aiel as well. They're all going to be black or indigenous.
Yeah.
And we're going that route. Then you could say, well, then he's obviously different, although he's a little too obviously different.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's going to fit in, with the...
Because there's this, like, isn't he a member, actually a member of the community?
Right.
And then everybody going, you look like an Aiel man. Well, how are you going to say that now? Because they all look different, and there's no homogeneity between the other people he lives with. So you run into this problem with kind of the mystery of whether or not he
has to almost fit in at Edmund's Field, but yet obviously when they find the Aiel, look like them, right?
Yeah, correct.
So how you do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Okay. So HBO Max is looking to cast a BIPOC, I had to look this up, Black, Indigenous, and people of color actor for the new Constantine series that they're doing. The character is normally portrayed as a blonde, chain-smoking Englishman, which was portrayed perfectly in the CW series. Cast him perfectly. He was played by Keanu Reeves in the movie version, which fans hated because he didn't look like, like Constantine.
Now, is this casting call specifically for the character of Constantine, or just a character in Constantine?
That's what I tried to get narrowed down. Everyone's assuming it's Constantine because it's for the lead, right? But whether or not he's, there's another lead, or this lead bad guy, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. But that's what the casting call goes. So that's why it made the news, because everyone's like, well, they're going to have Black Constantine. I'm like, well, I mean, we'll see how this goes. It is J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot that's doing it, so, and it is HBO Max, so, and it is DC. So it's like flip a coin. Is this going to be any good?
Yeah. And honestly, being a blonde, chain-smoking Englishman is not indelible to his character. No. I think Keanu Reeves did fine in the movie. He didn't step straight out of the comics like the character in the CW series did, right? He was like straight out of the comics, and you're like, okay, that's him. It's the attitude, right? It's the attitude, and but I know. What is this?
Look at Charlie Tango as a suggestion. It could be the investigator following Constantine around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not sure exactly who it's for, but everyone assumed because it said lead for the show.
Who's the what's that guy's first name? Aote. Moss from IT Crowd.
Oh,
somebody Aote. I can't remember his first name.
Who played the droid in Mandalorian? Right.
No. Oh wait. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah. He was in Soul. He was the Jerry's or the other ones. I don't remember which one he was, but anyways, put him as Constantine.
Richard Aote.
Yeah,
and he did the voice for the droid that was with the Prison Break episode.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess I forgot about that. That's funny, yeah.
Richard.
All right, are you being
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, are you being tongue in cheek with this next one?
Yes.
Okay.
This was originally. That's why Chris and I being here kind of screwed up the. I already, I queued this up for me.
Well, we switched these. You go ahead, and I'll do this next one.
Okay. So, in an attempt to put off releasing the next Game of Thrones book, George R.R. Martin is developing Roger.
Zelazny.
I can never pronounce his last name. His novel Road Marks for HBO Max. Now, this again, everyone's like saying like, "Oh, it's perfect because he's it's it's about dragons." The book's not about dragons. If you read this book, which I have, it's about basically the crossroads of all reality. These road marks, basically, it's where they found this road that you can actually travel through time, through dimensions. In it is this construct where people are trying to travel in the past to fix, fix things that happened, right? To find another reality or whatever. And this whole construct was originally created by dragons. It's not a book about dragons. I mean, they're kind of in the story, I guess. But it's not. Yeah.
That's funny.
It's weird. It's a weird story. It's sci-fi, not fantasy. It is a sci-fi.
Main point of this story is that George R.R. Martin's going to die before the next book comes out.
Yeah, it's not gonna. He's not gonna finish the series. Sadly, the HBO series. And at one time, if you told me the HBO was going to finish the series, and George R. R. Martin wasn't, I'd be like, okay, I'm fine with that. They're doing a good job. And then the last season came, and I'm like,
You know what?
Come on, George.
George probably told them what the ending he wanted to go with, and they go, okay, we'll honor that.
they filmed it, and he's like, I got to come up with something different. In the meantime, how's this? Let's do this book. Yes. Charlie Tango, absolutely. Get Brandon Sanders on that right now.
Because sadly, Brandon Sanderson is way better at finishing other people's books than writing his own.
I will give you that. So his best work is the Wheel of Time stuff.
I have tried to read 2 different of his universes, and I just can't get into them.
Here's the thing: I like his writing. I don't like his characters.
His world building.
His world building is not the greatest. But if you take someone who's good at world building and tells their story, those characters, right? He did an amazing job. He's a good writer. He's just that his world building is not as good as, say, a George R. R. Martin or a or Robert Jordan. But I would take him finishing that series.
He got about
anytime.
75% of the end of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yes,
done amazingly.
Yep.
I'm not sure I liked his war, but
yeah. Well, he wasn't. Why you don't like his war is because
what's his,
Robert Jordan.
Robert Jordan was
a military historian, right? So when he wrote battles, you were there. You could see that, that made sense. It was amazing battles. Brandon Sanders was not a military historian. So, sometimes the big war, you're kind of like, really? That doesn't quite add up, but all right. That's fine because he wrote the characters well. So, if you can do, he played to his strengths.
Yep.
That's fine. Problem is, that big battle was planned out by Robert Jordan because that's what he was down for. Right? So you go the whole series reading these awesome battles, and then you get that last battle, and you're kind of like, all right, well, the character moments are awesome. So,
except for one.
Yeah. All right, we won't talk about that. Let's go. All right, Doug.
All right, let's go. The animated prequel series Gremlins: Secret of the Mogwai for HBO Max has added Ming-Na Wen, B.D. Wong, and Matthew Rice to the cast. The series takes place in 1920s Shanghai.
Yeah. Huh. So it's kind of cool. So it's a prequel animated series based on, turn
you can get all like
China
fantasy in it.
Yeah.
Like they came from Shangri-La or something like that.
Right.
Or they were responsible for the destruction of Shangri-La or something.
Yeah.
So, weird.
Well, so weird. I always want to delve deeper.
Fantastical background.
Yeah. They're cool. So, also, Netflix announced a new live-action series spinoff from the Addams Family entitled Wednesday, about Wednesday Addams. Tim Burton is developing this. It marks his first time leading a series for TV. Described as a coming-of-age comedy, the series will see everyone's favorite maiden of the macabre graduate into a full-fledged leading lady. So, and it's a live action. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, Ming-Na was in every franchise now. That is for sure.
She should be. She
Yep.
deserves it. I love it.
She's a Disney princess. She's in Star Wars. She's in Marvel. And she's, Chun-Li. I mean, come on. So,
yeah.
Amazing. So, yeah. I obviously
I don't know what to think about this.
I don't know what to think about this either. Because at first I'm like, okay, a spin-off of Addams Family is a dumb idea. Wednesday's a cool character, though. But
Yeah.
it's live action. That's weird. Because, I mean, I don't want to know if I want to see... Because it was done so perfectly, live action, before. I don't want to see someone else take over the role of Wednesday Addams. And then I'm like, oh, Tim Burton's doing it. This is his strong point. His strong suit, right? Is this weird, quirky, kind of
If you want
horror comedy kind of thing.
If you want to say that, I guess.
Come on.
The only thing I like that Tim Burton has done is Batman.
Really?
Some other stuff is tolerable, but it's the only thing I really like.
You like Beetlejuice?
Oh, sorry. Yes, and
Okay, I'm like,
and Beetlejuice is not the same as his I guess it's his animated stuff I don't like.
I like the Nightmare Before Christmas,
but it's okay. It is not what everybody makes it out to be. It's just all right.
Wow. Okay.
And he did he do Edward Scissorhands?
Believe he did.
Because that I definitely not care for.
Yes, he did.
All.
He did that. I didn't like his Alice in Wonderland.
No, that was awful.
Yeah, I don't like that either. But
did he do both?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was okay.
First one was better, definitely.
And it's just but it was very odd. It was saved by the performances. The performances were pretty compelling in a very what the hell is going on here kind of way.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, if anyone's going to do that surreal landscape of Looking Glass, Tim Burton's your guy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what he does with. This is one of those things I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. I don't know how to feel about this. It's probably going to be something I check out, but we'll see. But anyway, there you have it, folks.
That's it.
The nerd news for the week. A lot of weird little stories. There's been there was quite a few stories that we didn't include here. They've obviously they've kicked off filming of Thor: Love and Thunder, and they kind of got a spoilery. Not kind of spoilerish. They have images leaked of Chris Hemsworth's stunt double with Mjolnir.
No.
So, but Mjolnir had to come back somehow because Jane's got to use it to become
right. Yeah.
Right. So.
Correct. Yeah.
So that was not. Everyone's like, "Oh, a big spoiler." I'm like, "Well, we knew it was kind of going to happen, right?"
Yeah.
So, not too much of a spoiler. But there you have it, folks. Nerd news for the week. We'll be back again next week with more of your nerd news. Be sure to check us out on the 12th, as we're going to be live at PodVCon Spring Break podcast convention. Same time. Oh, it's going to be 45 minutes instead of an hour there, because they're 45-minute slots.
Right.
We'll be live there. You can come here, check us out like you normally do. Check us out on Twitch. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out here on YouTube. Wherever you check us out. Or you can wait and listen to the podcast wherever you get your podcast the next day. Or probably more likely Sunday. Because I got to edit WandaVision for... which me and Doug are going to react to right after this. So... because we have to wait all day long.
Yeah, we have to wait. We're not up at 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning, whatever it is now.
Right.
Watch it.
I know. Jobs and stuff. But yeah, guys, check us out. Thank you, all of you that are helping us get to that 1 million views. We'll be there. And in fact, I'm going to call it now. We're going to call the 12th our 1 million view episode. Right? We'll celebrate then live
one way or the other.
Live at the convention. Yeah, one way or the other. We'll be there. We'll probably be there next week. But
yeah,
the 12th of March we'll celebrate. Gonna have some special guests, guys. Be sure to check that out. And check out all the other guys that are at PodVCon as well. I'm gonna put later on this week when we start advertising about that show. So take a look there. And I believe that is everything. Oh, I want to call out we've had a bump in, we skipped a week on the podcast, and for some reason our downloads jumped from our last one, but people got missed us, I guess, and wanted to hear our old one. So it's got almost twice as many views as normal. So thank you guys. Be sure to come check us out on YouTube and watch some of our videos to help us get to those 1 million views. Guys, thank you. If you want to support us, the channel, and the things that we do here, Doug, there are 3 links down below. What do they go to?
One is to our Teespring store, where you can get that cool shirt you can see Kirsten wearing in the thumbnail, along with a few others, including some masks and stuff. You can also check us out on Patreon, where some of our reaction shows go up without editing. And then finally, you can click on that Amazon affiliate link, do your Amazon shopping through that, and we'll get a small kickback. Won't cost you anything extra.
All right, guys. We really appreciate it. We will see you all again next week. Hopefully Kirsten's feeling better, and she'll be joining us then. Bye, guys.